Day 55, and you've built up a really good head of steam. You've developed this discipline, this habit of reading the Bible every day. And now all that remains is to stay in this habit, to keep reading every day, to make a priority of that which matters. Luke chapter 11. The chapter starts with one of those beautiful moments of the disciple coming to Jesus and saying, "Lord, teach us to pray." I really believe that whenever we need to learn something, whenever there is something that we feel is missing in our relationship with Christ, a good thing to do is just to say, "Lord, teach us." In this case, to pray. And he does. He gives them a model prayer, a prayer that we can use as a template for our prayer. And it's interesting for me that it is all in the plural. It was always a community prayer. So much of our prayer should be for those around us, for our community, for those we are doing life together with, not just for ourselves. Jesus also highlights here that it's not just that we can pray persistently, we should pray persistently, and we can even pray in a way which seems a little bit inappropriate, in the way that this neighbor goes and wakes up his friend in the middle of the night. That we can ask what is frowned upon socially. We can have the liberty and the freedom to come to the Father and to ask, especially for the Holy Spirit. He says, if we know how to give good gifts as bad people to our children, how much more will He give the Holy Spirit to those who ask? And then in this chapter, we see just Jesus reminding us and Luke reminding us of the reality of the clash of two kingdoms, that there is a Satan, there is a devil, there is an enemy, and in the spirit, there is very, very much a war going on, and we are either for Jesus or against Jesus. And the chapter ends with a section where it almost feels like we're back in Matthew, Jesus and the Pharisees and the scribes, and Jesus has 3 woe statements for the Pharisees and then 3 woe statements for the scribes, and he's insulting them, and he is really condemning their ministry practice. He says to the Pharisees, as an example, you tithe of all of the minutest details. He says this is good, you should tithe, but there are weightier matters. He reminds us, as we saw throughout Matthew, that the law is not about the letter of the law. It is about the spirit of the law. It is about having a heart that is surrendered in worship to Jesus.